Hi YouTube, my name's Sean Connors and this is Mannerisms, and welcome back to another DM's Tips programme. Today we're going to be talking about mannerisms. Now, we've already been discussing about, in the previous few episodes, tonality, voice, ability to ham it up, and now we're moving into some of the psychological side of the game. That is an absolute piece of genius in my view, and if you examine this part of the programme really carefully and think about it, this will do you so much good in your games. Now, hopefully you're trying things out at the moment, and I'd suggest just keep going with it and keep learning from it. But this is about mannerisms. Now, mannerisms are the things we all do, like I'm doing now. I've got a lot of hand movement, I tend to do that a lot. We all have those type of things. Mannerisms can even be the things you say. Now, I would start getting into the habit if I was, if I start thinking about it from a young DM's perspective or an experienced DM's perspective, choose carefully the words you say or the things you do around your table, and it has a huge impact on your players. This really is the beginning of what I would call a smoke and mirrors part. So it's the little psychological things that do the most damage to your players and actually make them really get into your game. So I'll give you some examples. Think about it in terms of you've got your screen in front of you and you're actually shuffling some papers. You're actually doing that. You're actually going through some stuff on your table. If you take a moment and look up, you'll notice some of your players are observing what you do. Because you know what? Their mind is thinking over different things. They're wondering what's coming next. So it's a great tip to actually start thinking about these little mannerisms in terms of looking down. If you want to roll a dice behind the screen, remember, my philosophy is I don't tend to roll dice openly. That doesn't mean that I won't from time to time roll them behind the screen. The players don't need to know if there's anything important in that. Most of the time it has no meaning, but it does psychological stuff to them. I like to keep my players on edge. I like to create little thoughts for them to wonder about. So a great example would be things like, I'm very well known for certain words I tend to use. So when a player says, I want to check this hallway for traps, and they make a roll, and then they look at me for an answer, I tend to say things like, as far as you're concerned, everything looks okay, with a straight face. And they go, looks okay? Yeah. Because look is so much more annoying than no. Because if you say no, everything's fine, yeah, it's great, no problem, nothing wrong here. Is there any traps? No. Then they know for definite everything's fine, and they hold you to that. Whereas if you say, as far as you're concerned, or words like that, those little mannerisms are very, very powerful. Very powerful. So as a recap to this little programme, but one of the most psychological and most powerful, think about the things you do around your screen. Think about the impact it has. Even if you take someone out of the room, sharing information, sending little notes over, hiding things behind the screen, the way that you portray your words, the mannerisms, very powerful. Get into the habit of doing it, use it psychologically against your players. They become more interested in your world. Anyway, this has been Sean Connors. This was DM's Tips. Until next time, see you again.